disorder. What would you, let me see, what is a personality disorder? Let's Google it. Let's see exactly what it is. Doesn't matter what type of disorder he has. He's Pete Davidson, he's still a millionaire, so obviously it didn't stop him from getting the bag, where you can't maintain one dominant personality. Difficulties in managing emotions effectively. The main feature of BPD is a strong pattern of instability in a person's relationship, self-image, or emotions. People who live with BPD can experience rapid changes in moods that last from hours to a few days. Well, yeah, this definitely ain't me. I'll tell you what I got. Like, this type of shit, you don't need treatment for this. You don't need treatment. Narcissistic personality disorder. People with narcissistic personality disorder often come across as selfish or superior, but it's because they're making up for the fragile sense of self-worth, which is false. The disorder can make it hard to get along with others, but counseling, see this type of shit they do, like, they try to make it like loving yourself and putting yourself above other human beings is a disorder, when it's literally not a disorder. Should I not love myself? Should I not think I'm better than everybody else? Should I not put myself first? Should I not be selfish? That's how you move forward in life. How the fuck is that a disorder? Like, how are you gonna classify some shit like that? All right, let's read some of the bullshit, right? It's called NPD for short. What are the causes? The exact cause of NPD is not known. So it's not known yet. You're classifying people that allegedly have this disorder as somebody that has a fragile sense of self-worth. That doesn't make sense, because if I love myself to the fullest potential, how do I have a fragile sense of self-worth if I think I'm better than everybody else? That's not a fragile sense of self-worth. If anything, it's a God complex. What are causes of narcissistic personality disorder? Childhood trauma such as physical, sexual, and verbal abuse. I wouldn't say I've ever had any abuse. I mean, people used to clown the out of me when I was a kid because I was tall, and you know, bitches touched when I was 7 years old, but I wouldn't call that a disorder. It's just some shit that happened. Probably was younger than that. Early relationships with parents, friends, or relatives, genetics, hypersensitivity to textures, noise, or light. That definitely ain't the case. I'm sitting here with 3 lights in this bitch. What are some of the traits? Overinflated sense of self-importance. You know, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like how they're saying overinflated sense of self-importance. So, nah, I wouldn't consider that shit sexual abuse. I was a kid, you know, older bitches. When I was in private school, obviously, all it did was turn me on to women earlier. That's basically it. I never suffered any bullshit from it. Yeah, I never thought it was anything wrong with it. I liked it. Let's see. Overinflated sense of self-importance. Well, I don't know. It's almost like society tries to, they want everybody to be normalized. Nah. I feel like you should love yourself to the fullest potential and maximize the love for yourself to the fullest potential. If you don't feel like that about yourself, it's easier for people to penetrate your emotions. Yeah, exactly. They want you to be soft and shit. What if the genders were swapped? Then obviously that's bad. The reason why I feel like men can't be sexually abused by women is because we're stronger than them. Period. It's just that simple. Like, we're stronger. You can't be like, damn, this bitch had me tied up and sucked me up and I busted. Not the way it works. Because you still got hard, you still busted, and you're a man, and you can really get out of that shit. If a bitch puts a gun to your head and say, let me suck you up now, and you better not move, and you just sitting there like, let me go, but you're hard. But your hard. I'm so dumb you gave me a free $1. Who's the real idiot? Just get this clown out of here. This mad because didn't nobody find his ass attractive when he was a little boy. Everybody thought you was a little ugly, beady-eyed, worthless kid. You didn't get your first interaction from bitches until you were like in your 20s. I see why you mad. You see, women have always looked at me in a sexual way ever since I was a child. Why? Because I was blessed to be attractive enough ever since I was single digits. Your ugly ass, you had to donate $1 to feel validated about how ugly you really are when you look in the mirror. We get it. Imagine that. You see the mind power I have over these. Look, give me telekinesis. Give me pyrokinesis, chirokinesis. Give me telepathic abilities, period. I would own this planet. I would destroy any dumbass weakling at the snap of a finger. I'd be like, oh, this is what you're doing with your life? Poof. Wait, hold on. You're trying to speed past me in an Acura? Throw the car in the desert. Hold on. Your Nissan thinks it's faster than a V8? Pick your car up, crumple it, throw it mentally behind me. That's why we don't have powers. All right, so consistent thoughts about being more successful, powerful, smart, loved, or attractive than others. How is that a disorder? Unfortunately, the way, human society has been ran is the richer has always been better. The richer has always been top tier. The richer has always been more powerful. So why would I be considered to have a narcissistic trait because I have consistent thoughts of being more successful, powerful, smart? I don't care about being loved, but more attractive than others. Shouldn't we all want to be like that? Exactly. Like, should you just sit here and be like, you know what? I'm going to make the best of my day. I got to go to Amazon today. I got to go to Walmart today, Starbucks today. I can't wait to go to work and be a regular old good Samaritan. You know what? I did have dreams of doing bigger things, but I want to serve society. I want to be a regular person. You know what? And I'm fine with that because that's the ethical thing to do. You see how this whole article is trying to dumb down the mentally untouchable people. The people that really love themselves, the people that really look at their skin and realize that this shit is an organic gift. What's wrong with that? Excuse me? I got a disorder because I have consistent thoughts about being more successful, powerful, smart, and more attractive than others. That's what drives me, is wanting to be more successful, more powerful, smart, attractive. Like, that's what should drive you as a human being. How to be better, how to be more powerful, how to make more money, how to be more successful. You want to be a drone? Who in this chat just wants to be a drone for life? Why don't you guys tell me who in this chat right now wants to be a drone? Let me know now if you're okay with being a regular human being. Don't worry about the I gotta say. You let me know if you're comfortable being a drone. If that's how you feel, that's cool. But I want to know who the here really just want the bullshit things in life. You want to live in an apartment for the rest of your life. You want a regular ass ugly bitch that you have to settle for. You want a boring ass. You only want to make $50,000 a year. You're just ready to cap it life. You go get some, or if you do get a house, it's some bullshit ass 1-story used shit that was created in the 60s. That's what you want? That's what the you want? And you know what? Here's the thing. You know what? Here's the up, sad reality about it. In order for the world to properly run correctly, there's got to be drones. The world's not meant for everybody to be more successful, powerful, smart, and more attractive than others. That's not the way the world runs. If everybody was attractive, shit wouldn't work correctly. If everybody was a Jeff Bezos, who's going to deliver your Amazon packages? Who's going to give you your Taco Bell when you pull up late at night? You get what I'm saying? The way the world works, there's got to be drones. There's got to be drones. I never said I got booty busted. I said I was played with and jacked. And it just made me like women earlier. Is that a problem with that? That's what I'm saying. There's gotta be drones. Just keep going. That's gonna be the last time I respond to you, bro. Thank you for your worthless $2. Like, feelings of superiority and desire to only associate with high status people. Well, isn't that what basically the rich do? I mean, that's why so many celebrities are friends. So every celebrity is a narcissist? I don't think that that's real. No, I'm not finding offense to what you say. I'm gonna read what you say. Yo, I mean, no offense, but I've always lived my life never depending on others. You feel like Twitch and YouTubers highly depend on others for money. All right, so here, let me break this shit down for you. So what you're saying, that's cool. But let me ask you a question. What type of company do you work for? Electric. So the person who owns your company, basically, you depend on them to sign your checks. You depend on them to clock your hours in correctly. That's the same shit. Now, me personally, I put out content. If I stream, sometimes people donate, sometimes they don't, but I still gotta work. I still gotta grind. I still gotta look for topics. I gotta, every day every day my life is mathematics. Do you know how stressful that shit really is? Do you know how the average person would break, buckle, and give up? Like every week, think about it. Every week I gotta come up with new shit to talk about, new videos. That shit ain't easy. And I'm not saying this to talk to you in any kind of way. I'm just talking about it in a passionate way. Every week for years, I've been coming up with new topics while steal from me every fucking day. Do you know how mentally grooming that shit actually is? Think about that shit. How many of you motherfuckers are just what every day you gotta think numbers every day. Every day everything is mathematics, numbers, analytics, on the internet, you know, and then on top of that, I'm not just a who made video game videos 24/7. Like, I'm blessed enough to where every time I tried something, I was lucky enough to where people even with it for a fraction, right? So when I put out a video that has nothing to do with video games and I get my little 10K, I'm satisfied, because most YouTube channels don't allow you to take a risk to do other shit. The fact that I've been able to have people not only with me for the gaming shit, which is what got me here, but I could drop some shit about a random chick or, you know, a Kanye West topic. So like, who else can do that? Like, I gotta take risk all the time. My whole life is risk. My whole life is mathematics. My whole life is numbers, on top of people stealing, slandering. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of shit I gotta deal with. So when you say you only depend on yourself, no, you're dependent on going to work, clocking in, putting in your hours, and that person to sign your check, bro. All of this shit is a form of work. All of this is a form of work. But I mean, I understand what you're saying. Everybody chooses their path. Everybody chooses their path. Exactly. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When people talk about my views, I'll be like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, everybody else has the luxury on YouTube of just using their name. Me, I don't have that luxury. Be stealing my name every day. There's channels out there with 1 million subs, can't even crack 10K views. Channels out there with 630K subs can't crack 10K. Like, I'm satisfied with the 10,000, because that's 10,000 that a lot of can't get. That's all I ask, minimum 10,000. As long as I got 10,000 to have watched my shit, comment 100 times. Look, I get it. It's a numbers game. YouTube is a saturated game. For me to get 10,000 views on a video, that's remarkable. And it's my channel, it's me, it's my shit. It's not I'm using somebody else's name to get shit. I do drop reactions, yeah, but I could still get 10,000 on some shit that has something to do solely about me. You guys got to remember, I did everything on YouTube. I've done skits, I've done reactions, I've done food reviews, I've done it all. Anything, any topic. Well, the only thing I haven't done is like IRLs, like take a mic and ask people questions. Outside of that, I've done everything. You're asking me about skits, I did those. Reactions, been doing those. Food reviews, did that. Done it all. Social topics, do it. Video game videos, do them. Nobody wants to see me paint. I'm not doing AMSR. Like, everything I do, I try. Like, I tried the 2K shit, that was trash. All right, cool. You know, sometimes you take L's. It flopped. I put a short up on my other channel. No one with it. You know, the thing is, I'm willing to try. I'm not the type of that gives up. That's just not my style. Yeah, I even did cooking videos. Like, I just tried to put up a card unboxing. I did unboxings before. I even tried to upload to TikTok 2 days ago. These motherfuckers muted the audio talking about it's against community guidelines. I don't know what I said, but I was like, well, I guess I got to do some kookily dances and shit like that on TikTok in order for my video to pop. What's my other channel? Low Tier God Live. Check my channels tab on my page, on my YouTube page. I've done music reactions. I just hit them. Yeah, but I was doing music reactions and getting good ass views too. But YouTube cracked down on music reactions. GTA RP streams, once I set up, what's that shit that you gotta download with it? I have it on my computer. I just haven't orchestrated it yet. No one in my audience uses TikTok, but that's the thing. So that's the thing about it. So it doesn't have to be people in my audience that use TikTok. Yeah, GTRP videos and X. It's basically, look, I put up Elden Ring videos. Yeah, 5M. I put up Elden Ring videos. I'm blessed enough where people are watching me play Elden Ring. Like, that's, to me, that's a blessing, bro. There's probably a lot of people who put up Elden Ring videos and no one with them. Bring back rate my viewers? Nah, because people started it up. Yeah, but TikTok is where you go get a different audience. Like, I could do something totally different on TikTok. I could like act like I'm some sexy ass on TikTok. That's even though that's not my style. Like Scott Hall's passing. You got to remember, man, a lot of those guys that were wrestlers back then did a lot of cocaine, a lot of steroids. That makes your heart weaker. You have, weak heart complications and things when you do that. Anybody that does coke, everybody knows your heart rate goes through the roof when you do coke. So look at your body, like, put it like this. Every time you take a shot of alcohol, imagine if you shaved off 60 seconds off your life. You know what I'm saying? So when these guys are doing coke and steroids and all types of drugs, your heart gets weaker. Your body is not meant to take in toxins. That's not what the human body is for. The human body is meant to be treated like a vessel. You punish it by putting in toxins and eating bullshit and doing drugs and drinking. Alcohol tastes like poison. Alcohol is not good. Yes, you might feel phenomenal when you're a little bit lit, but at the end of the day, that shit going down tastes like poison. So Scott Hall, he went to get hip surgery or hip replacement surgery, right? He was good. He was perfectly fine. He went to go get hip replacement surgery. Scott Hall is 63. 63 is still too young to go. I feel like on Earth, every human should get a minimum of 80 summers. But he was 63 years old. He had a bad drug history past, PEDs, everything. He had 3 heart attacks because his body couldn't handle the trauma that was going on with that surgery. It's very sad to see Scott Hall go. I still think 63 is too young to die. It's too young to go. 80 is different. Your body's kind of like, that's when it's just like, all right, 80 summers, cool. Yeah, 80 summers on Earth, that's generous. You damn near lived a century. You're 20 years off of a century. But to die in your 60s? My opinion on soda, treat it like a Snickers. Should you be eating a Snickers every day of your life? No, you shouldn't be having a soda every day of your life. Yeah, a lot of wrestlers have died from cardiac arrest, heart failure. Like, they all died the same way because they, like, all those 90s wrestlers and late 80s wrestlers, everybody knows if you look into their stories, they all did a lot of bullshit. They had concoctions of crap.